Hi, and we're getting ready to do our yoga sculpt class. I got you guys going live early, so the classroom is getting set up. So as you are joining in or tuning or coming back to watch this for a workout, we're going to get ready to do a sculpt class in about 3 to 4 minutes here. And it'll give you time to kind of saturate yourself. I take that from Saturday Night Live. I love that one. It's the drunk lady on the news. Anyway, we're going to be using our hand weights for this workout and our body weight, and that's it. So if you have a light set of hand weights, you can grab them. If you don't, you could do this entire workout without anything at all, without any props. Typically what I suggest though is that when you're doing that is that you just pretend like you're holding onto a weight, like you would grab it. So that way you can engage and make a fist and you can engage the muscle rather than it just kind of hanging out there. So we want to pull it in, and maybe when we're lifting, we could still do the exercise at hand, but maybe not holding the weight. I always suggest too in this class that if the weight gets too much, you simply drop it. The form is always going to be our #1 priority, and working with your body weight is going to be plenty tough enough. So sit back, get yourself ready. I'm going to be on a yoga mat, although you could be probably on your carpet doing this. The safest way would be on a mat if you have a yoga mat, and I'm using, it's a large mat that covers this stage, and then I'm using a towel. And then I have 2 yoga dogs. You'll see them and you're like, what is that on there? Those are my yoga dogs. They'll just used to teaching. So they're just going to chill and watch us go. Hey. Hello, hello. We are going to be doing yoga hands here for everybody to kind of come in and move in. We're going to be working our entire body on the shoulders. So when we're working with the shoulders, hi Natalie, hi Susan. The shoulders are broken into 3 primary sections. We have the located right on the side. It's responsible for typically when we lift our arms out to the side. And then we have the rear deltoid that's located here in the back, and it kind of wraps around and attaches towards. And Susan's present. And a lot of us tend to carry a lot of our stress on our shoulders. So we're going to be working through that shoulder area today. I'm going to go ahead and show you the equipment that we're going to be working, and I'm going to start our second recording. All right, so again, good morning. I should probably lose my slippers here, but we're going to be working yoga sculpt today. I do have the workout designed to work primarily with your body weight. So if you don't have it access, you don't have them in your home, you don't have them where you're at, it's not going to be that tragic. You can just simply make a mock fist, hold on to what you believe to be a weight in your hand, and then you can do these shoulder exercises, everything just the same without any weight. Most of the emphasis when we do these workouts is primarily on the core and stabilizing. So when we work with strength in yoga, it's a little bit different than how you might approach strength in the gym. So strength in the gym, we typically look to max you out and to find out where you can go. And then how many you can do with that weight determines kind of what your intentions are. If you want to kind of get like bigger, stronger muscles, you want those muscles to break down much sooner. So you're going to probably do like 8 to 10 reps at a higher weight, meaning you couldn't do much more than 8 or 10 and you're just, I'm falling, I can't hold those weights anymore. True failure. Or you're going with lighter weights and you're just working on range of motion and you're doing a lot more. Yoga, we could do 10, 20, 30 of something. And in a typical yoga class, we probably do about 20 to 50 push-ups anyway. So that's why it's a sneakier workout than people might think, because we're using our body weight. And by using body weight, you get this really cool equilibrium. So just remember that strength is one side of the spectrum, and then its opposing element is flexibility. So you're going to go, huh? You might notice that you tend to be a stronger person, or maybe you're a more flexible person through your life. And you'll think about that and you'll go, okay, or maybe you don't know because you're more pitta. But vatas are more flexible, kaphas are more strong, and pittas are just determined SOBs. They're just going to get that stuff done. It's just hysterical. They're going to work hard. So they tend to fall kind of to either side. They could be leaner or they could be heavier depending on their diet and what they focus their attention on. So those are your three primary body types. That's how they respond to weight. My friends that have a lot of vata or air energy, you're weaker. Sorry, because you're more flexible. And then my friends who are strong, not very flexible, really stiff and rigid in there. So you can see how this all kind of wraps up and it makes our whole world. So when you're using it with weights, you can't really compare to me. You can't compare unless you seem similar to me in energy because it's all going to be unique to you. So let's first start in a seated position. And can you guys all hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. So we're going to start in a seated position. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Olivia. Yes, Nugget and Tinkerbell are both here today. They've made their appearance. They're joining us for class. Lots of energy. Okay, so we're starting. Again, this is Yoga Sculpt. I have my weights at the top of the mat. And now, when we come in, you're going to cross your legs into anything that's comfortable unless you need to straighten them out. It's really, this is about you. So I'm going to move into lotus because that's comfortable to me now. The first time I did lotus, I thought my legs were going to break off. So as you can see, you're going to fall somewhere in between the spectrum on all of these poses. If you have a regular yoga practice, this sounds redundant to you, but congratulations that you have a regular yoga practice and this is redundant to you. So as we're here, we're going to move into our breath. I'm simply placing my hands onto my knees and then I'm going to flip my hands over. By opening the palms up, I kind of in a position to receive what the universe has for me. Down doesn't mean I'm like, I don't want any good stuff. It really means more I need to come down to the earth and ground more, but I'm going to ground us in a moment. So first, let's start with our palms up. And if you kind of push into that wrist, you can use it as leverage. Do you see this? To push your chest forward. So push the chest forward, lift the crown of the head, the spine, like someone comes behind you and they just pull up the back of your shoulders, in your shirt, and they pull you up there at your collar. And then you're sitting real tall and proper. Now draw the belly muscles in, bring the chin down. This isn't story time in kindergarten. This is a posture. So as your chin comes down, the back gets really long, right? Your palms are faced up with your top hands pushing back. Push the heart forward. Maybe even let your thumb meet the next finger over the pointer finger. This allows information. The signal is Om. It's the universal sound of the universe. We're kind of not sure. As the vibrations from the core of the earth create a vibration. And it's why we're linked with all creatures in sound. They say sound soothes a savage beast, right? And that's our connection on earth. And I think what's happening now in the world is allowing us to slow down and start to take a look at what our connections are in our family. We looked at those first, right? What are those connections? Wow, those were getting really, really, lost. Some of the connections were broken and damaged, and now they're allowing time to repair. And they're looking at connections you have in your work and the people that you surround most of your time will oftentimes get the best you. Your family doesn't. Oftentimes your work people do. And you kind of look at those relationships because oftentimes, they're important, but they oftentimes aren't the ones that last. It's the family ones. And then you kind of take a look at that. And then as you're breathing now, slow down your breath. Invite in more breath as you're moving through your nose. And then ask yourself, what are your relationships to your neighbors? The people that surround where you live and spend so much of your time. Maybe you don't have any. Maybe they're fragmented. Maybe they're great. Take another breath. Let it move through you. And then I want you to lastly think about what are your connections to the world itself. To the earth that you walk on, take for granted, and the sky that brings you oxygen, and the birds to see, and the sun. Just all of the elements, everything that's offered to us. I was watching this documentary and it's like, do we think this world is ours to take? Where did this shift happen? We are one of all. And as we start to kind of just feel that unity, your breath helps to unite what's going on inside your body. And so the philosophy on yoga is yogi. So now take one more deep breath in. Just pull it in through your nose. Fill up your body. Let's hold our breath and count back for 4. Hold it. Don't let it go. 3. I'm holding. It's hard to talk and hold. 2. You can pull more in. Don't let it out though. And slowly 1. Let it go slow. Not too quick. 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 Calm. 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 Slow breathing again. Just fill yourself up. No rules. Fill it up. Fill it up. Pause. And then let it go. So right now, take one more breath, and you're going to feel the body. It's kind of yoking. It's bringing you from your base chakra. That's our rooted, grounded sensation. Through our relationships, through all the busyness that's in our day-to-day lives, and towards where we think we're going with our lives, our future, where we're headed, where we're going to land, into compassion, into our hearts, into us voicing what our true desires, our true intentions are, our true selves, up to intuition, and then, of course, bliss. So now let's slowly come out of your seated position. That was kind of a slow walk for chakras. And just FYI, in case you know, these are your chakras right behind me in these bowls. Each of these crystal bowls represent not only just a color, but a sound. Each sound vibrates at the frequency of that chakra. So we have Muladhara, Svadhisthana. We are so we have Muladhara, Svadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddha, Anja, it's Ajna, I can't pronounce it, it's Ajna, and Sarasara. So those are all of the chakras, and they go from root to tail. So when you're sitting up real tall, that's when they're in alignment. All right, let's move into a tabletop position. And hey, if you're wondering about music, yeah, I've got some royalty-free music, but it's very difficult for it to even air because of what's going on. Everything's so slow, so you might not see these videos. So I suggest putting music on in your background, and that way you can listen to anything that you want. And then, of course, we can layer in music once kind of this all has happened. All right, so now that we're on our tabletop position, I'm going to actually walk you back here and have you make a seat. Sorry, this is where we are. So you're back to your seat because I wasn't reading my notes. But hey, so if they can. All right, so first, let's take wherever they were. You're probably a table, so bring them to your heart. Any seated position. You don't have to be in lotus here. Now draw your heart forward, roll the shoulders back. And you're going to now take the right hand and place it down next to your right hip. And if you need to, you could put something underneath it to block up that space. Now take the left arm and bring the bicep right next to your ear. And then we're just going to lean over to the right. Let the right elbow bend. Turn your hand as you need to so that elbow bends. It's probably going to go back behind you. And then as you reach, lift up through your left ribs and look past your bicep. Let's reach now for 3. You should feel this in the left side of your waist, not so much in the left out of it a bit more, and get your left butt cheek on the floor a bit more. Now last breath, and 1. Let's come back up. Now place your left hand onto the floor, fingertips or palms, whatever naturally comes in there, and then bring your right arm up to the biceps next to the ear. I'm going to turn my pinky forward, my elbow forward, which will neutralize that shoulder more. And then reach out of your ribs, not your arm. Even if your arm is forward, you can take your hand to your heart. If you can't bring it up, you can keep your elbow a little bent, but you're lifting out of your side waist. Once you can get there, maybe that arm is real straight. Keep your chin in front of your bicep, and then just slowly lift to the sky. So you're coming up. If you lifted your hip, you went too far. So just come back. Keep the left shoulder moving forward. Now we're going to move with our breath on 3. Don't worry about how deep you go. This is helping you to understand where you're at. 2. Now come back up. Inhale, breath. Right hand to the floor. Exhale. And then just follow the breath as you reach over. There's not going to be a real rhyme to reason with our breath. You're just smoothly now moving your hands one at a time. Up. And then when you get deeper, bend the elbow with the hand that's stabilizing you. So as I come down, watch. And your fingers, you might need to figure it out. Mine are going forward and back, but it could really move in different directions here. So doesn't need to be perfect. Don't blog up some of your mind space with worrying too much about where that finger is. And just reach out of your waist. Let's do a couple more of these. Just reaching. Do you feel that side body? So that's your sideways to your lower back kind of relationship. It's right between the belly and the back here. And that's going to help you when you're twisting, reaching back into the back seat. I know you don't throw your back out. All right, now, the next time the right arm is up, let's just come back up and hold the right arm up. and then bring the left arm up. Beautiful. Reach towards the sky. Lift through your heart. Exhale. Bring your hands to the mat behind you so that your fingers are facing forward. Lean back. Unhook your feet. Place them onto the floor. Okay, so we're going to be going into a boat pose, and not everybody can do a boat pose. So in case you can't, I don't want you to feel bad at all. All we're going to do is support our knees first. So first, want the back real straight. Now see if you can bend your elbows towards the back of the room behind you, and then push back up. Yeah, so we're going to do a few more of those nice and slow. So straight down behind you, and then press straight up. Go just a couple more. Straight back behind you, so your elbows are going back behind you, and press straight up. Last one. When you come up, lift your chest, scoop underneath your knee creases. Walk your feet back. I'm going to adjust my pants here. I'm sorry, because it feels really weird where it was. All right, so then I'm going to just kind of hug my knee creases and walk the feet back until I can just lift up. And you should be able to just kind of hang out here. Maybe see if you can lift your legs, lower the legs. Maybe pull the toes back a little bit and kind of come up and down. Maybe just see how far your legs go. Some people's legs go all the way up. Others, it's not such a good idea. So just kind of see where your legs are going. I'm going to put my pants on straight while I'm looking at my pants. Try not to look at your feet too much. Your toes. There are no salons open for a while. All right, so as you're here and your heart's drawing forward, shoulders are back, just see what is normal for you. Maybe it's just a couple inches up, a couple inches down. All right, now find a spot where you could just stop. Let's maybe aim for the center here. So the toe mounds are forward, shoulders are back. To go into boat, you would release the hands, palms up. Shoulders are back. Most people, this is very difficult because the low back is heavy and we don't have equal come back as the chest lifts to help give you support all the way up to coming right back up and holding the knees. Although this is the least amount of core here, this would be better. At least you got the hip flexors and the belly's engaged here. All right, so wherever you found yourself to be, we'll take about 2-3 more breaths. Try to remain calm as your heart is lifting. So you want to feel like your belly button is being pulled up towards the sky. Can we do 2 more breaths? Think about the toe mounts pushing forward for a little more strength. Good. Now, we're going to bring the hands to the mat, so everybody should be here in case you're down. And then just lower your feet. Push the chest through. This tends to be a lot of hip flexor, and you're going to feel that. You probably already felt that heat on your hip. So as you come up, bring your knees up. Now lengthen out, and then exhale, squeeze, pull in. Good. We're going to go 10, squeeze, 9, squeeze, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set the feet down. Now grab your knees and lift your chest. Exercise can be done with one weight if you want to grab it. And we're going to quadriceps and the hip flexors while we're here. So you're going to only use one weight, and it doesn't even need to be heavy. And if you don't have any, you don't need any. Okay, here's just your feet together. If you have a weight, you're placing it onto the ground so it's stacked and that your feet come together. So that way when you lift up, it'll be into your feet. Now, I'm leaning back into my hands just like we did, elbows in. Now we're going to combine those. When you lean back, your feet come up. We're going to go 8. That's it. 7, as big as you can. Keep your back straight. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, now set it down. And then when you do so, grab your knees and then pull yourself up. Wow, see how much space you pulled up? Mine was a ton. And my hip flexors are fairly strong now from so much yoga, and that one really still gets me every time. All right, now we're going to slowly cross our ankles. Now we can go to table. See, aren't you so sad? You would have missed all of that if we went right to table. Yeah, you're like, next time I do this workout, I'm going right to table. All right, so let's go to table. And then as you're here, though, your hip flexors are going to thank you in the long run for that. All right, the right leg is going to come back, and then your left arm is going to go long. From here, you are welcome to use the weight. It's 5 pounds. I don't find it all that too challenging with this particular exercise, but you may. So the thumb would be up. This is challenging, trust me. Elbow would come in the palm, and that's where it gets kind of neutral. And then it's more of an exertion as you have to reach it forward because it's anterior and medial deltoid. So we're going to squeeze in, and this is really good to warm up that shoulder too. So let's do about 8, 7. Again, without weights is fine too. 6, 5, 4. I've got a tip for you too. 3. If your wrists are hurting you here, you could always hold on to a weight. 2, with the one that's not working. 1. So I'm just going to set my big toe down here for a second. So to show you that I could have been holding this weight and then not using it. And that keeps my wrist open so it doesn't hurt so much if I'm finding pain. All right, so let's bring our big toe down to the floor. My left hand and my left knee are together. And I'm going to turn my right hip out. So this hip that's facing you or closest to the sky, I'm going to turn it up. And then when I do so, that right arm is like, well, I need to lift up because that feels weird. And then you can stay here as a modification or lift that leg up. And then when you come up, you're going to find that the hip, the knee, and the ankle are on the same line. So from there, we're going to press the ground away with the palm that's on the ground, lift through the arm that's reaching to the sky, and kick through the leg to find stability, strength. And then grace. Grace is stillness here. It might not be still. You could be shaking and wobbling and all craziness. You know, it doesn't really matter. That's why I love yoga. You just have to be truthful. And that's what that Vishuddha chakra is about. You just have to be where you're at. And when you learn to do that, then it kind of bleeds out into your life. And then what happens is you start to see all the places that you haven't been very honest with yourself. And that maybe you know you're pulling the wool over your own eyes with these situations. And you think it's easier to do it. And you're finding out, no, it's not. It is catching up with you because it was the harder way all along. Now, as we come down with this arm, you know, we don't need it. So I'm going to bring my hand to my hip. And we're going to draw the knee forward and see if you can place it next to your hand. So I'm just going to move this weight out. So the foot is next to my hand here, or I'm dragging it up there because it was a little bit of a different landing, right? And then we're going to bring this hand to the floor. All we're going to do is do a quick half split. So I'm going to walk my back knee back about 1 inch or 2, not much. Press my right leg straight, my right hip back. Try to bring your right hip back in a way. So the leg that's straight, that hip goes back. The one that's bent, bring that hip forward. And then just take a breath in through your nose again. Find that breath. Inhale, 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 inhale. And then as you exhale, kind of glide the belly forward onto the thigh towards the knee and come into a surrendered stretch. So you're going to find all these elements of yin and yang happening in this class. It's not going to be easy either. Some parts will feel easy, others will be very difficult. All right, standing splits now is next. So let's lift that leg to the sky. Don't worry about it being a standing split. Some people can do it. It's beautiful. You know, Sienna, are you in there watching? Because she's like, or Michelle, Ramel, oh my gosh. Sometimes I just stop. I go, hey, everybody, that's what that pose looks like. So for me, my hamstrings are never going to do that. So your leg is simply lifting. This will probably look a lot more like yours. So it can be just barely off the floor, knee bending. It can be higher. Now, once that leg kind of straightens out, it does tend to lift a bit higher. But if you'll notice me, I'm turning out to the side. And the reason my body wants to turn to the side is because when I go forward, my hamstring goes, that's it. That's all you got. You better or it's going to break off, right? So it turns out so that the open hip can open up. My hips are super open from all this yoga, so it wants to open up. My hamstrings, stay there, you're in standing splits. My hamstrings aren't open in yoga because the hamstrings will change all the time, depending on what's going on in your hips, your core, and your glutes, okay? Low back, okay. Let's just throw everything in the kitchen sink there. So notice, is your hip turning out? And if it is, bring it down. Now notice where your leg truly is. Find that place of truth. Now bring your knee to your calf muscle and squat. Bring the belly on top of the thigh. It's not knee to knee and nothing's moving. I see this sometimes. It's not. It's a squat and a press. A squat and a press. Let's try it. Squat, bend the knee, and press. So your knee aims for the calf. If you're going deeper, it actually slides outside, almost like you're going to do a seated twist. You're going all the way down and then kicking back up. The cool thing is your legs will start to straighten out more. So just down and kick. I don't care how fast you're going. You don't need to be with me. I'm not even doing it. It's down and up, down and up, down and up. What's happening is your hand. Now just breathe. That is it. Just breathe. Good. Now slowly bring your knee to your calf with the same calm breath. Leave it there. Squat deeper. Place the toe mound behind the heel. This will cause these stabilizers, these ones we stretch, they're going to have to hold you here now. So take your hands and walk them back so they line up with your right foot. The knee is at the calf, but your thighs are squeezing together like they're side by side. Now stay here and try not to fall over. Or bring your hands up one at a time and place them at your tail. If you can stay there, hook your thumbs is a good place to start, arms up, or interlace your fingers. Notice which thumb is out, just because if we do this on the other side, you can switch it up. Now we're just here holding the stretch. And the palms are together if you can. If not, they can open, or we're giving the shoulder a big stretch. So as your arms go over the body, you get a real good stretch in that anterior deltoid. If there's damage or just good old-fashioned tightness in there, the palms can't come together there. So your best bet is to bring your hands back down towards your tail and then try to do that. Then try to bring your arms over your head. All right, now take your last breath. Now, good news, good news, good news. Bring your left knee right outside your right foot and then sit down. So it's kind of like a seated twist if you know it. Actually, it is a seated twist if you know it. All right, so mama bum, hips are down, both of them. Right ankle moves up towards the left knee. Now, if this is too tight for you, just straighten this bottom leg out. You can do it just like that. All I'm going to do is grab my knee and drop the right hip to the floor. That's it. Drop the right hip, right? Now grab the knee and pull it into your chest and push your chest towards your knee. But don't move the foot. Keep that foot grounded. And just push the right glute into the floor. If you are really flexible, totally warm, you can do a gentle twist. This feels pretty easy for me, but my back is very, very open. All right, now slowly come back. Place your hands back onto the floor. Do you remember this where we started? Unhook your feet. Place your feet onto the floor. They kind of naturally know where to go. And then push up into reverse tabletop. So now the hips are all the way up by the knees, by the shoulders. And then as the chest and ribs open to the sky, the head can fall. Here you'll find out it'll be really difficult to get those hips up. So notice if your hips won't come up. 2 more breaths. Now lower down just a little bit. Don't touch the floor. Don't touch the floor because you want your butt to go back by your hands before you set it down. Now bring your knees up and let's do out and in. Oh, look, we're right back to the beginning. All right, here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set the feet down, grab your knees, lift your chest. Scoop under your knees, lean back, and try to sit the legs. Now just recover your breath here while we're doing this. Just recover the breath. Now, in position, half or hold. Do one more breath. One more breath. All right, lower your feet, hands back to the mat. All right, now lean back, elbows go back, and then press back up, push your chest through, and scoot, and then press back up. Grab your knees, grab the weight, place it between the feet, place it back, and now lean back, lift the weight, and here we go. Just 8 hip flexors, 7, 6, keep your back in there straight, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nicely done. Set this down. Now reverse tabletop. Lift it up one more time. Bring the knees in. Notice if your hips can't get all the way up there, okay? Because this is your hamstring glute now. So to see how high they can lift, it could be a little weak in there, but it's not unusual, okay? It's hard to really identify if that's weak in there. It just feels tight. All right, now slowly come down. And we're gliding back. Cross the ankles, tabletop. Hands to the mat, left leg back. Right arm forward, right arm with weight, elbow to knee, and here we go, smooth. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, pull in. Good, 9, 8. Feel the belly muscles pulling into the focus of your attention now. 7, 6. Push the ground away. Remember, you can hold on to it with that left hand into the weight. 6. I don't know if that's where I was counting. I'm really the worst counting here. 5. Usually someone's counting in the room, but I don't have anybody. 4, 3, 2, and 1. I can usually tell where we're at by what we feel like here, but when you're injured, it's not always telling you that you're down here. So you're going to want to lift that left arm up. So once we're up, we're trying not to fall over. That's it. But if you need to put your foot onto the floor, you certainly can. All right, now here we go. Let's press the ground away with the bottom arm. Kick the leg away with your heel. Lift the arm. 2. Good, now half splits is next. So we're gonna bring the hands to the hip. Draw the knee forward, set the foot down. Good, pick up the back foot. You might help it out there. It might not look like that. Draw the right knee back a couple inches and then gently press back. Kind of shake your butt so you make sure your hips are loose enough, and the left hip will then spin back and down. Right hip will go forward, okay? Or more back and away, and then the front hip, the right hip forward and down. That's a better cue. Now as you're here, bring your belly closer to your thigh. Your toes could be pointed down or up. Set the left foot down onto the floor. Bend the knee. All right, right leg is going to come up to the sky, so standing splits. Let's come on up. Once again, don't worry about the shape of it all. It's not going to matter much. Maybe you turn the hip out. And when you lift your leg up, you're going to notice mine turns all the way up. This is my leg that's been very, very bad for about 8 months now. So we're going to keep it nice and framed. And then from there, how heavy are the hands? You know, and then as you draw your knee into your calf muscle, this will help you frame the hips. So if there's an imbalance there, we'll be able to bring it back now. Bend the left knee, bring the belly right on that thigh or as close to as you can, and then kick it back up. And then just find that motion now as we draw it in and kick it up. Draw it in and kick it up. And just keep going there. Down and up, down and up, down and up, down and up. Here we go. 4, 3. Bound down, walk back. Good, now just try not to fall over. If you get in trouble, your feet are just side by side, that's all. Your knees are bent here, especially that back knees as much as you can. Good, now hold your knee, pushing in that calf just lightly, and then fingertips. Then if you went to balance, we're gonna bring those hands up again. If you remember the thumb, you wanna switch it up, so the opposite one is out. If you can also stretch the shoulders, the arms will come over the head. Now we're breathing here for 4. Good, nice and deep breaths. 3, 2. Now remember what's next. Your right knee just goes outside your left ankle. So bring your hands down, set the right knee outside your ankle, and have a seat. Oh, your left hamstring's like, what? And then you can draw the knee and chest. And make sure the foot's grounded. My ankle's with the knee. The foot's grounded. I'm not sitting on my right heel also. It's out in the way. My butt's on the floor, or as best you can. If modifying, this leg would be straight. Same everything else. All right, now pull yourself towards the thigh as best you can and get your left hip grounded, or the one that is on the outside that we just got in there. And then if you're laying on the twist, you can just slip your staying grounded. Don't worry so much about the twist. Let's make it mostly about that glute and that hip coming down. All right. Back with your hands onto the floor, bring your knees up. And then when you get there, cross your ankles, place the hands onto the mat. I'm placing the weights just at the top and facing dog. You're going to press the knees back up and towards the sky, spinning the insides of the knees in a bit, and then dropping the heels. When you get there, try to lift up the tips of the toes towards the sky a little bit. And then from there, press the ground away hard with your hands. Draw your heart down and through. Roll the shoulders back. Good, now take a couple deep breaths in and out. On the next inhale breath, bring the right leg to the sky. As we exhale, bring it through into low lunge. Good, now grab your weights and push them straight up to the sky. Straight up to the sky. So crescent lunge. I can always fix my hands when I come up out of that pose, I swear. All right, so droopy crotch. All right, your arms go straight up. And then when they do, you don't want them out in front of your shoulder. You don't want them back out behind it. It puts it really an unfavorable weight into that shoulder joint. So we want them stacked and straight. There's oftentimes a tiny bit of a bend in the elbow, just meaning they're not locked out. That's it. But I'm holding the weight, I'm strong, the shoulders are back. Good. And then from here, bring your weights to your heart and hinge forward. Place the weight into your right foot and then lift your back leg up a little bit or a lot. Arms will drop down and they can also press straight back up with straight arms, long neck. So I'm not bending my wrist if I'm doing the arms. My wrists are bending, they're down. Bring the weights back to your heart and land. Warrior two, drop the back heel. Then push your weights forward to back or your arms. If you have no weights, palms are down. If you have the weights, you're going to turn your thumb side up, roll the shoulder back. Beautiful. Now from here, bring your weights to touch in front of you. Now bring your left heel in and sit, goddess. Good, hold for 3. Shoulders back, 2. Open the arms back up, go back to warrior 2, and reverse warrior. Neutral arms. Remember, my arm stays over my shoulder. The left weight slides down my thigh. Weights go back to your chest. This protects your shoulder. Then you step back into a chaturanga, high to low push-up. Inhale, lift into upward facing dog. Cobra if you're on the floor. And then exhale, breath to downward facing dog. Lift your hips and press them back to the sky. Let's find our breath here. Let's find our breath here. Now as you're breathing, again, your knees are pushing back and through. Your heels are drawing down, the toes are up. The heart's drawing down and back. The weights are being pressed away. So your shoulders are pressing away from the thumbs. The neck is neutral and long. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, place the foot between the hands. Place the weights in your hands and lift them up. Crescent lunge, straight up towards the sky and hold. All right, now all the way up to the sky. Now as you're there, again, roll the shoulders back. What's going on in your legs? Can you squeeze them towards each other? Can you roll the shoulders back and then push up higher? So you're trying to control these shoulders here. You're going to notice them first to control. Good. Now bring the weights to your heart, hinge forward. Good. Now there, stay or lift up into airplane. A little or a lot. Weights can drop. See, this is my true position, my hips framed. It's not very big. I'm listening to my leg. The arms then can come back into an airplane or like it's kind of like an arrow with your body. When you land, you kind of land just right where you started. Then drop the back heel, open the arms, push away, push chest through, or no weights, palms are down, okay? Now stay there, sink into that knee. Bring your weights to touch in front of you. Bring your back heel in and sink. Beautiful. Open the arms. Push your back heel away, warrior two. Drop the back arm to rest, bring the left one up and sink into the knee. Step. Weights to heart, step back to plank, high to low push-up. Inhale, breath to up dog or cobra. So there's your push-up. And exhale, breath to downward facing dog. We're going to change one little thing and then we go. Lift right leg up. Exhale, bring it through. Shoulder press, crescent lunge. Up. Good. Weights to heart, hinge forward. Airplane, press up. Soft landing, weights to heart. Take a left turn, warrior two. Thumbs up. Straight arms, right heel in, goddess. Warrior two to the front, open up, back heel away. Reverse warrior, stack your hand over your shoulder, weights to heart, back to plank, high to low push-up. Inhale, breath to upward facing dog lift, and exhale, breath to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg sky. Exhale, low lunge, step through. Shoulder press through crescent here. Weights to heart, hinge forward. Airplane, lift and push it back. Soft landing, weights to heart. Right turn to the back, warrior two. Straight armed horse or goddess pose. Warrior two to the front, open thumbs up. Reverse warrior, left arm up, sink a knee. Weights to heart, step back to plank. High to low push-up. Inhale, breath, upward facing dog. One more round, down dog. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step through. Shoulder press. Weights to heart. Airplane lift. Add your arms. Soft land first. Warrior back. Straight arm goddess. To warrior front. Reverse warrior, inhale. Weights to heart, home, step back, high to low, push up. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, low lunge here. Shoulder press through, crescent press. Weights to heart, hinge forward. Airplane, lift and push back. Land, weights to heart. Warrior to the back. Straight arm goddess here. Warrior to the front. Reverse warrior here. Weights to heart, come home. High to low, push up, finish it through. Upward facing dog, drop your knees, hold. 3, 2, and exhale, downward facing dog. You have 5 breaths here. If you need to drop to your knees, push back, have a bit of a break, this is a good time to do that now. I'm going to check this while you're breathing. And we are in action, so let's keep our breath slow. All right, so we're moving into a little bit of a different stage now, so that the heart rate comes down after about 2 more breaths. That's it, just 2 more. Now, take the right leg, lift it up, bring the foot between the hands. Now we're gonna grab the weights from the floor and then lift them up. Now, take your weights and bring them into your, leave them where they're at. I was in a different exercise. Take a hammer curl, which is just bringing your thumbs to your shoulders, and then bring the weights up over the head, just like we did. All right, so as you lower your weights down, you're gonna lower your back knee down. Then step up, feet together, weights over the head. Now step your right leg back and drop your right knee to the floor. So that's how far back you wanna go. Your knee is over your ankle. Push right back up, and now step the left leg back. Here we go. Back, push, back, press. Now to get really good at this, actually touch the floor, but get as close to it as you can, if that's possible. We've got 8 more. 8. So just keep breathing. Think about your knee over your breath is going to be smooth, but it's going to increase. The heart rate's going to go up on this. Keep going. Keep going. It doesn't have to be fast either. You got 5 more. 5, you're halfway. Come on, 5. Come on, 4. 4. You can 2. 1 and 1. Bring your weights to your heart. See, I told you your heart rate is going to go up. At least mine did. Now from here, you're going to take your left toe and bring it just right next to your right foot and squat. Then you're going to step back and bring your weights to the floor, drop your knee. You ready? Tap the floor, weights to heart. 10, tap the knee. 9, 8, get close now. 7, come on, you can do it. 6, keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2. Now stay back on the next one. Stay back. 1. All right, release the left hand weight. Place the left hand on the floor. You can drop your knee here if you get in trouble, but you're best off keeping it up off the floor to keep the weight out of your back if possible. Take my right hand, bring it out for a moment. Turn the thumb down, pinky side up. Do not bend the elbow or the wrist. Now lower straight down outside the baby toe. Back behind your right hip. And then back down. Now think 11 o'clock and what is that? 7 o'clock. Okay, so just right in between 6 and 12. Right in 6 and 12. Okay, so I'm gonna catch my breath here because I gotta keep talking. So if you find that your elbow is bending, drop the weight. If you find that your wrist is not able to recover and it's bending, drop the weight. You can do this without the weight and it's effective. It's really what creates the beautiful shape of the shoulder, this rear deltoid. All right, keep it going. Don't bend the elbow because you're gonna start getting into the trap. All right, now hold the next one out. Here we go. Now just go down like an inch and then up an inch. It's gonna be like an inch and a half-ish. We're gonna see if we can just count to 9, 8. So you're sawing a piece of wood. 7. Trying to thread that wrist. 6. If you do, just drop it and go. 5. Okay. It's fine. 4. 3. 2. Can you hold it up without bending? Can you lower it where it was without stopping? And then lift it back up, and then lower it back down, and then lift it all the way up. Turn your right foot, and let's step into side plank modified. Step your right foot behind your left. If you get in trouble, just drop your bum for a second. You can always go to your elbow here if you need to. You could be in a modified on the ground. All right, so if you're gonna go into a side plank though, you're gonna place your right foot onto your left foot, and then take that weight and go under your arm with it, and then back to the sky. 10, you can do 2 weights if you want here. 9, just depends on where you're at. 8, but you got 2-3 pounds, double them up. 7, good. 6, 4, 3, 2, get rid of the weights. Step your right foot back, bring your right arm up, lower your left hip. Grab your knee, bend the other knee, grab that one, and lift yourself up. Ah, take a break. So I'm lifting the chest, pushing it through, shoulders are back. Ah. All right. Beautiful lake. And you're like, what a beautiful lake. And you lean back. And people that know me are like, oh no, she's tricking us. Scoop under your knees. Lift up, let's find your boat, right? Bring your chest forward. Now find that oar, because we're gonna ride over that boat to the other side. Pull your toes back so you're strong. And now let's roll it up, right and left. Here we go. 9, 8, kick, 7, kick, 6, kick, 5, 4. I almost fell over my boat. 3 more. I almost fell over into the water. 2, and don't sink. Don't sink. All right, grab your knees and go. I didn't die. I didn't die. All right, now bring your hands back and give me a reverse tabletop. Oh, get those shoulders stretch. Lift through your chest. It's so lovely here. Join me. 3. 2. Now lower your hips. Let's straighten your right leg out. Your right leg, my left leg leaving. And then turn your hands. Turn your right hand all the way around. Now kick into your left foot and press up your inside plank the other side. And then stay here and breathe, or let's pull the elbow to the knee for 10, 9. Let's go home after this. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now 1. High push up to low if you want. You can meet me in down dog. If you're like, I just want to be out there. Up dog if you want. We'll do a little chaturanga. All right, friends, downward facing dog. Let's breathe. If you'd like a little break, lower to your knees. Press back in child. Sit back onto your knees. A seated position like we started. But you're going to take about 4 more breaths. So whatever makes sense for you, I want you to honor that. But don't be a baby about it either. Because let's face it, there's nothing for you to do but to eat and do online videos of exercising. So let's just work hard. Let's change the craving by doing something good in the body. Yoga really has the beautiful gift, unlike fitness for me. I did years of fitness where I'd come home, I thought I was going to chew my whole arm off before I made what I was making. The food that I ate before I actually ate what I was going to eat is alarming. And then in yoga, it's weird, it's different. That's different, the opposite. You go in and you're like, I wouldn't put that in me. I wouldn't eat that. It's not you're a snob. You just don't crave it. Your body's like, don't do that. You know? Ugh. So it changes how you view food. Now lift your left leg up or get back in down dog here. Let's all get back together. All right, when you're back in down dog, bring your left leg up. Inhale the breath. Step it through into low lunge. I don't have my weights, so we're gonna need to grab them. Let's find your weights and let's bring them up over the sky. This is my bad leg, so don't judge me, okay? Do the best you can. This one might not look perfect at all. Lower down, elbows, knee. Step up, feet together, arms overhead. Left leg back, touch the floor. That's where my knee is. You might use kind of over my toe even. I could go back to the floor. Just knees with my right leg back. Push it over your head. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. See how the weights are getting heavier? So you're gonna hit me for 3 for me in the shoulder after I'm doing all these. 2, because think how many shoulder presses you did. All said and done. All right, now right leg back, hold it, okay? 1, weights to heart. All right, so just kind of hinge forward. My leg needs to break a little bit, so I'm gonna just rest my elbow there. So I want my right leg all the way back, and then all we're gonna do is bring the right toe to tap. You ready? Tap the floor, knee 2. All the way up, tap. Here we go. 9, 8. Well, I'm gonna have to go really slow. 7, 6. You better keep going. I'm gonna quit with that one. 5 more. 5, 4, 3. My body says don't do any more of those. 2, and I will listen. All right, now 1. Step all the way back. All right, let's drop those weights. So here we are in low lunge, drop the knee. Now let's take a second just to recover. Ooh, so I have sciatica in my left hip, and it's from an auto accident. And I think my hip actually just went back into place the other day, but now I need to work it out in its right place. It's not ready for it. So let's bring the right knee off the floor. You can keep it down. It's totally fine. I'm gonna bring my right hand to the mat now. Now from here, we're gonna lift that left arm up. I'm moving away from my bowls with the weight that it is. If so, I turn the thumb down, pinky edge up. And then I lower it back down right outside my baby toe. But instead of going to the side, I'm gonna go back by my hip, behind me a little bit. So it feels like I'm making one part of the arrowhead. So it goes out to the side and point tip in front of the big toe. 9, 8. So again, I'm not going to the floor and I'm not to 12 o'clock. I'm right between. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now hold it up. 1, and just saw in between. 10, just in between. 9, lose the weight. I had to lose mine. 8, 7. Think about where you're squeezing. Back of the arm. 6, good. 5. I'm gonna grab it again just to get me a little bit more fatigue. 4, 3, 2. Now hold it up. Good. A little lower. Hold it up. A little lower. Hold it up. A little lower. One more time. Hold it up. Good. Now drop the weight. Drop. Turn your left foot. You ready? Now you're going to step behind your left leg with or without the weight. Now if you're using the weight, you can grab 1 or 2. I'm going to start with 1 here. My left side seems very odd. All right, we're going under the right arm and up to the sky. You can be in also regular side plank if you did so the other side. You may need to modify here. It's okay. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's get rid of the weight. Good. Step behind you. Lower your hips. Grab your knee. Grab the other knee. And then hold your chest through. Open the knees up. Get that right out of your back, because that's where it dumps when your core is not ready to take the whole weight. All right. So unless you're completely 100% balanced, which who is? All right. Now lean back. I'm just going to slide back over into my. Don't worry about the bowls right here. These exercise. Good. And then from here, you're going to scoop underneath your knees. And you're going to walk your feet back. And then lift your knees up. Find your bow position, find your back, and pull the toes back. Release the hands if you're going to stack to make your oar, and let's row our boat. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. You can do it. You're going to sink. Don't sink. Keep going. Lift your chest. 4. Come on. Last 3. Pull your belly muscles up. 2, 3, 1. You did it. Grab your knees. Lift your chest. Bring your hands back and reverse. Oh my goodness. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Draw your knees in like you're holding onto a beach ball. Lift your chest a little higher. Good. Feel the toes press down just a bit. That's your glute hamstring. And now lower your hips. Oh, glide them back. Straighten the left leg out. Turn the left hand around. Drop to the left baby toes and bring your right arm up. Stay in modified plank or elbow knee. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. From there, it's high push-up. You can skip it if you want. Inhale to up dog. Let's meet back in downward facing dog. And take 2 deep breaths here. Please do one more nice and slow. Nice and big. And then when you come into high push-up, you can even be on your knees here. We're going to lower to our belly. Cobra is next. So if you just go right to your belly, you're exactly where you need to be for Cobra. I'm just going to move my weights out of the way so that you can see me. And I'm going to adjust this slightly because I don't know what happened there. All right. Now, hands are next to the chest here. So as the hands are next to the chest, you're going to squeeze your legs together, zip them up. As they zip up, then press your hips into the floor, press your feet into the floor. Now lift your knees up off the floor. Good, elbows in now. Inhale, peel your chest up. Exhale, hold, squeeze the glutes. Shoulders back, elbows in. 5. Stay calm, it's all about the butt. All about that base. Squeeze it and push the hips down. 2. Take one more breath, that is it. Now release and pause. Now, open up your feet about as wide as your mat. Hip width or wider is fine. When you push back up, place the elbows on the floor. So elbow, elbow. Elbow under the shoulder, not in front, not behind it, stacked. Think of the regal cat on the Luxor in Vegas, Sphinx. Okay, now push the hip bones into the floor and forward to the elbows as the elbows drag back towards the hips. Now squeeze the bone real hard, and you'll feel that space and energy that frees up in your low back, right at the tailbone. And see if you can lift up out of there. Create the space. Shoulders back. It feels so light. It's so bizarre. Once you really tap into the power of the glutes, these yoga poses change. They change pretty rapidly too. Stay there. I'm just moving my weight. Stay there. 3. Stay there. Stay there. 2. Good. Now I'm just going to open my hands out. Your elbows stay down, which means your elbows will only open, hands will only open out to a 45-degree angle. And then from there, press up into those palms and see if you can keep your pubic bone down. My elbows are straight. If not, you can go back to Sphinx with the elbows down. Shoulders back, neck is long. Notice if you squeeze the glutes and push the pubic bone down, it creates this shift of energy coming up out of your lower back. Like you're being pulled out of your low back, out of your neck, and up to the ceiling. Good. Now from there, lower back to your elbows. You're going to take your right fingers and bring it over to your left elbow. Bring your left fingers in front of your right forearm, in front of the left elbow. Now flip the hands up so they're both faced up. Slide the elbows away from each other in opposite directions until there's no space left for you to slide, palms up in neutral. And then just lay down onto your shoulder like your neck is trying to reach over the shoulders to dip your nose into the pond. The back of the neck is heavy and long. Unless this hurts, you would put something under the forehead, like a pillow, a towel, or a block. Now relax the shoulders, even if they're up and around your ears. Just keep pushing them back away from the ear. This is the medial deltoid. Should feel good. So the medial, if you're sitting in a chair and someone grabs your shoulders from behind and they give you a shoulder massage, back in the good old days when that wasn't sexual harassment, you could get a shoulder massage. More deep breaths. You feel your body truly letting go and surrendering. That's when the beauty of yoga starts to really show you its magic. It's not in the force, it's not in the pull. It's getting within where you need to be and watching. It's almost like hiking to the top of a little mountain or peak and just turning around and just going right back down. You'd be like, what the hell? I mean, what was the whole point of it? Get up there and you sit. You take a seat and you look. And for some reason, we don't do that in our real lives. We know to do it when we're climb up something. We know to do it at the Niagara Falls. Savor this, take it in. And yet we don't do it in our day-to-day stuff. Like I said, it's often the people that you spend most of your time with, they're getting the best of you. And the people that mean the most to you aren't. It's just like not sitting down at the top of the mountain. Now, as you come out of this pose, if you have something supporting your head, you need to move that out of the way first or lift your head up. And I'm just going to inch my left elbow to the left, my right to the right, until I get back onto my forearms. Oh, then open them back out and then slide the hands back. When you get back to next to the chest, zip up the legs together. We're going back to Cobra. Now, once your legs are zipped up, squeeze your butt, push your hips down, lift the knees up. That's really going to tell you if you're there. Then on the inhale breath, peel yourself up. Elbows in, shoulders light, neck is long. Keep the feet, the glutes, the hips, the pubic bone all pressing down. Knees are up and away. 3. Almost there. 2. Now release on 1. Open up the feet. Press back up, elbows down, Sphinx. Regal cat, elbows drag back, hips forward, lift the heart. Neck is long. 3. 2. Now open up the fingers, get ready. Seal, press up, or go back. Another pose was fine too. This is too intense. Now roll the shoulders back, push away. Now squeeze your butt, push your pubic bone down to fill that space, and you lift up even higher. Use the space that you're being given. So your effort will give you space. Your surrender will complete it. You complete me. So either you're someone who surrenders really easy, or you're someone who's strong and very difficult to surrender ever. Some people have a hard time grasping the word in yoga altogether. It puts them into a why. I would never surrender. And yet that's what's holding you back. It's surrendering in the proper places. Just learn that toughness is the opposite of the softness. And again, it's those polar opposites that we need to take a look at. All right, now we're coming back down. So as we come back down now, come back to your elbows. And then I'm going to take my right fingers and move it. Left fingers, left fingers to the right elbow, and then my right fingers to the left elbow. So basically my right forearm is in front of my left. And then I'm just gonna flip my palms up and walk the elbows away. I'm getting as far away as I can. Keep walking. This is the part of the class where I say, we're getting ready for our stray jackets. So it's like you're going inside of a sweater backwards and you're kind of gonna then lay down. So my arms are reaching apart. I can't get them any farther apart. Now push the shoulders away from the ears. Draw your chin down and try to bring your nose like you're going to just dip it into the water. And then keep pushing your shoulders away from your ears. If you want to get space in there to hold onto a soft beach ball underneath your earlobe. It's a tiny one. It's a tiny little ball. And you're just going to hold on to it so it's not heavy. So think of just more pressure for you. I'm like, hold this here. And you're like, oh God. So now my neck is real, real long. And then you're placing that weight on the medial deltoid, the middle of the shoulder. So we want to compress some of that energy out because it tends to hold on to a lot of stuff for you. So a lot of people that have a tight neck, or maybe you have headaches a lot, or chronic headaches, chronic neck aches. So you tend to absorb not only physically in this area, but emotionally. So like I put in the Facebook earlier, stress is stress, physical and emotional. And they come into the body in each in their different ways. They could go to the same area in your body and compound something. And oftentimes we are because of our energies. You know, some of us retain more, some of us get rid of, it's different. Some of us are more lethargic in nature. Some of us are just more active. Air people are going to be fast. You're always moving super quickly. You're in and out of places. You don't stop long enough to do anything. And it's super important then to balance that energy to slow down, to sit and eat your food. Don't eat it when you're doing stuff. That's why digestion is having such trouble with you. Because you try to eat food on the go and in between and doing stuff because you're fast and quick. So if you sit down, you can actually let your body assimilate and digest food. Just like if we sit still, we can assimilate thought and emotion. To come out of the pose now, simply keeping it neutral and inching those elbows back together. You guys have made it. You did it, all right? So all I'm gonna do is bring my hands out. And then drag your hips, your knees up until they can come up onto the floor. Bring your forehead to the mat. This is puppy dog. So once the hips are over the knees, you can stay here because this is deep for a lot of people. Going deeper would not make sense and it could be dangerous. If you're not, injured or it doesn't seem like that sounds like you, let me turn this out. You're going to bring your chin up and try to get your throat onto the floor. So the chin, eventually the throat, the chest will all come down. Doesn't mean it's gonna. It means that's what you're aiming for, so you know directly where you're headed. And then whatever position you made it in, can you take 5 breaths here? Now take at least one more breath. All I'm going to do is push up into my hands and walk them back. They're like so ready to get out of that place. It's usually not funny. Or you can press into your forehead and then press into your hands, which is a little bit slower. Here, they get really tight in there. Lock those knees up now, cross the ankles. And then as you sit back onto your bum, grab your knees, lift your chest one final time. Bring your palms down to the sky, suck in your belly. Now your beach ball's between your knees here, and that's what helps keep those bandhas and the hip flexors ignited. Then the belly sucks in, and you feel each of those bony knobs, the vertebra, come down onto the mat one at a time. Now the tailbone, of course, that little flat edge there is not going to go for the hip, but everything else can. And when you get down to the mat, let your legs just straighten out, let the toes fall out. Corpse pose, dead body posture. So you are an actor on CSI, but your debut is a dead corpse laying on a table while everybody stands around you to discuss how you died. So as you're laying there in corpse pose, what can you do to become very still? Imagine what a body with no energy might feel like. And then allow your brain to move in towards you. The breaths are deep, but the body is not really moving a lot. It's slow and contemplative. It's kind and spacious. And it's truthful because it's exactly where it needs to be. Without any fluff. Without any bells or whistles, props. It's you without the hair that defines you. And the details of the makeup that makes your face pretty. It's below the surface of the first layers of the invisible. It's more quiet. Together we are the same. We are bonded in this connection of humanity and oneness. It's in this familiar place that we are all free. It's about your truth that you love. Notice the space now in the middle of the forehead with your mind's eye. Envision the shape of an eye in the center of the forehead, but instead of trying to see through it at the moment, imagine you're trying to recall memory. The thought. Let it soften. The all-knowing eye is that deep seed of faith. We call it intuition. It's when you know something to be true without having to find the proof. And your human body is the sense of your emotions that flood to you to heighten your state of recall. Fill your body, fill your lungs. Hold the breath. And slowly let it all. At the bottom of the exhale, slowly bring the tips of the fingers together. And allow them to softly wiggle around. And as you're rubbing the fingers together, start wiggling your toes. Start wiggling your fingers and toes now together at the same time. And feel the body as it wakens back. As you draw your knees near your heart, grab your knees and softly draw them wide. Take a couple moments to rock side to side. Feel free to drop off to a side before slowly making your way up to a comfortable seat. Or simply rock forward to back until there's enough momentum to lift and rise you up. Place your hands at your heart as you move to any comfortable seat. And with your hands at your heart, bring your hands together. Bring the tips of the fingers together and chin down and close the eyes. We return to the breath that we began the class with, and I have a small reading for you from the Book of Awakening. The author is Mark Nepo, N-E-P-O. There was a time in my life during my years in college when I was so talkative, but the waterfall of words kept others at a safe distance. Of course, in time, this cascade pushed others away. But what I didn't realize till much later was that I kept talking faster and louder to the world around me because I couldn't hear the world within me. Of course, the more noise I made, the less chance I had of having what was real enter me, or even rise from me. It became a damning cycle. So often we mistake the need to hear with the need to be heard. All that talk was a way of reaching out to others with my heart. Ultimately, it was all based on the fear that I didn't throw my heart out there through endless words and gestures and questions. I'd be left out. It's taken me many years to learn that the world comes flooding in if I can only keep myself open. It remains important to reach out and to express oneself, but underneath that is the need to be porous and real. Through the opened heart, the world comes rushing in, the ways oceans fill the smallest holes along the shore. It is the quietest sort of miracle by simply being who we are. The world will come to fill us and to cleanse us and to baptize us again and again. Now, as you draw your palms together one final time, or you hold them together where you're at, bring them up to meet your forehead, placing the thumbs or the palm center here at the center of the forehead. Plunging. Together, we take a final breath as we reach towards the sky and inhale. May we continue our inquiry and our growth into our enlightenment. And as we exhale, humbly to earth, may compassion show us the way. From my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining me today. Please leave me feedback. I read everybody's feedback. Let me know what body parts you want to work next, or what flows, or whatever, what you liked. Tralala, if you had trouble with something, I'm happy to hear it, and also give you some coaching on there since I can't see you, and give you cues to help you out. So if you have any questions on reading or themes, please reach out. And then check also the page for some announcements, because we've got some stuff coming up as well. So I just want to thank you so much for joining me again and again for these. It really does mean the world to me that you're joining in. Right now, all of these classes are made free just because I want to be able to heal and share and spread something good into the world. But I am simultaneously trying to keep my studio afloat. And I've been working very hard behind the scenes to do that. And the only way that we're going to be able to work is if our members that are paying monthly dues continue to do that. If you don't pay dues, I do have a small donation page that if you are able to, trust me, I understand. I understand. I mean, I have to look at what I need to come up with over the next few months here. And it's a lot, and it can be overwhelming. But, I have complete faith and complete trust. I really do. I weirdly am not even worried. I should be, but I'm not. I just have total faith. I mean, I think what we're doing is a really good thing. I think what we do and what we share and how we can improve our lives and those around us, and we can make the world truly, a better place, I think is our true desire for those of us that come together in these rooms and these sessions. And I think we first found them because we're like, oh, I'm so stressed out, I need yoga, or I injured myself and I need to fix it, or I need to get in shape because I'm so fat and gross now, and all these things that leave us in these lower vibrations, and in these, we're blind there. But that's how we enter. And once we enter, we start kind of peeling back some of these layers like an onion, and we're like, whoa, I didn't know all this stuff was here. And then that's where it gets fun and interesting. So to get past those outside layers is just amazing. And it brings me into that place where I have complete and utter faith. I just do. So I don't think I'm stupid about it. I'm working hard behind the scenes. Thank you. I have people buying retail clothing. And I do have a face serum that I sell that has a CBD face serum that I've created for myself. And then I just created it because people were asking for it. So that's what you're seeing. And people are buying that, and that is actually helping our studio as well. So thank you so much. I just wanted to say thank you so much for you guys. And we're going to continue to air and stream these classes. And I just ask that you continue to show up, spread it, give it to all your friends for free, send it out to everybody, spread it across the world. Again, I'm happy to give this out, and people that can, support and pay, I think they will. So I love you guys. As always, be safe out there. Let's see if we can slow this thing down. We have to really take care of people that immune systems are compromised, truly. So I know your guys' immune systems are great. You guys are all going to be fine. We're not worried about you guys. The way that you're going to build your immune system is being exposed to this virus, just like the flu. So I'm not scared at all of that. I just am not. And it's going to be what it is. But we do have to protect those that are vulnerable. And I've always, always, always felt 100% wholeheartedly thinking as a society, we always have to take care of our weakest citizens. And that's why I'm always fighting for animals and trying to give rights to those that maybe don't have a voice. You know, our compromised human beings have a voice. You know, they're out there protesting. This is what we believe in. And I often think the animals don't. They can't say, hey, could you not skin me alive? You know, this is awful. Or, you know, we're going extinct. Or I do feel pain. You killed my family. I mean, this is stuff that, you know, I think is real. So you don't have to watch in this part. You can fast forward through it. I just want to say thank you and to continue to take care of our world. So I love you guys so, so much. And until next time, and tell me what you guys want next time. I'll see you soon. Bye. I love you. Bye. And I love you, love you. All right, you guys. You guys, until next time. I'll see you, and leave me a comment, and I love you guys. Peace.